this show. Dr. Monica, thank you so much for joining this show, taking your valuable time, and welcome to the viewers. This particular show is actually a blend of science and spirituality towards the subconsciousness of the new earth. Dr. Monica will share so many insights with us, which will be really, really very revealing. So let me take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Monica.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for having me over. I'm super excited to connect with the audiences, and I'm super excited to talk my heart out here.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. So, introducing our doctor to the viewers. So, today we are honored to have Dr. Monicka Singh, aka Dr. Monicka Shubra, a true pioneer in merging the realms of science and spirit. Dr. Monicka is not only an experienced medical doctor with 27 years of practice in obstetrics and gynecology and sonology, but also an awakening facilitator, timeline specialist, author, and metaphysicist. Wow. With a career spanning nearly 3 decades, she has delivered over 10,000 babies. What must they all be doing, doctor, now? Wow. And transformed the lives of countless families through her holistic and compassionate approach. Dr. Monica's mission, Birth the New Earth, co-founded with her pediatrician husband, Dr. Pradeep Chauhanji, is more than a professional endeavor. It's a calling to guide families through every stage of the journey from preconception to parenting. Wow, doctor. In this day and time, this is such a boon for all of us. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Her innovative programs, such as Enlightened Human Conception, Awakening in the Womb, and reversal parenting, go beyond traditional medical care to nurture spiritual connections that empower health, wealth, and relationships. I'm so honored to read your introduction, doctor. As I'm reading, I'm getting, so much of elevation.
Thank you. And you're doing it with so much love. Thank you so much.
She has touched thousands of lives by combining modern scientific care with deep spiritual wisdom. It's truly inspiring to see her compassion, commitment, and groundbreaking approach to creating a more conscious and connected world. And again, doctor, in today's digital age and today's, that is what is needed for the kind of the lives we are leading in this fast-paced world, which is, by the day taking us through huge advances in technology, the connectedness. While we are staying connected, you are helping us from the spiritual aspect as well. Thank you so much. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Monicka Shubra to Brand Scientist Hub Narratives, the brand narratives of the doctor. And we are thrilled to have you, doctor, over here.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi. That was a wonderful introduction, and I'll elaborate one and done with a lot of love. So, yes, and I'm super excited for today. And with the grace of our masters and grace of the divine, the grace of all the people who are listening, may we add a lot of value, may we add a lot of motivation, inspiration to all our listeners today. May their life be touched in some way or the other.
Wow.
This is the intention of this call.
Wow. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. So with that, over to you, doctor, for the first question to you. Dr. Monicka, could you share with us the journey that led you to this profound mission of Birth the New Earth? What personal or professional experiences inspired you to blend medical science with spiritual guidance for families?
Wow. So I think it was imbibed in me from my very childhood.
Uh-huh.
But I started understanding this much later in my life. And there were few incidences which were a trigger, a precursor to my, becoming in what I am today. I had those personal milestones in my journey of life. So in 2007, there was a mega shift in my perceptives when my husband, he himself is a doctor, he's a pediatrician. Um, he was face off with death. You know, he went through an experience of ND, near death experience, and we almost got him back. And that deeply shifted me, because that was the time when the medical science says that we can't help him, that we really can't do it. Everyone, like, we
Oh,
put
God.
the hands up and said we can't help it. Now whatever it is, God is going to help. And surgeries were suggested, which were very, I mean, even with those surgeries he would not have. But then, because of some certain, like, I would not go into that story into detail, because it would take a lot of time, and I usually get a lot emotional when I'm telling and talking about it. So through that entire episode, uh, we emerged out of it hale and hearty, without medication. And it's not that we went into some spiritual process and dedicated ourselves to particular kind of pathy, like an Ayurveda or naturopathy or anything. Nothing. At that time, we were just medical practitioners. We were having our own hospital, allopathic practitioners, practicing obs and gynae. My husband are practicing
Again.
pediatrics. And at that time, we were led into our own journey where we were indirectly connected with our subconscious mind inputs. We started following our intuition, and then everything changed in our life. So it was not a very structured thing that landed. However, we touched base with something so great, so enormous, which we tasted in our life and knew, which is beyond medical science. And
Wow.
my husband, by grace of God, today he is hale, hearty, healthy, everything fine. And it's been like a long time since then, and that completely changed the course of our lives. And we understood very deeply that day that life is beyond, like, medical science has a huge contribution in keeping us intact as physical bodies and human beings. However, the essence of life is beyond medicine, it is beyond so much. And if we have the power to tap into that space, then
Mhm.
we can do anything that we want with our bodies. The
Wow.
complete reversal of whatever we want is completely possible. It's just we need to tap into that particular space, which you can space of cosmic healing, the space of consciousness, that space where everything is possible and nothing is impossible, including your health, including your any aspect of your life. So
Wow.
that, and another thing which happened was, like, shortly I'll tell you, in 2011, 12 was a time for my own personal transformation, where, in spite of my roaring practice and all achievements, we were earning good name. Like, we shifted from Delhi to a small city, then very small place, and we were gaining, we were everything, like name, fame, everything that you would ask for. But the more it was happening, the more empty I was feeling inside me. Empty, 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 complete hollow. And I was sliding into a some sort of a depression, that what am I doing with my life? There's something bigger. There's something bigger. When this grace landed, I call it grace because it just landed, and I started seeing things, feeling things. Sometimes which, I could just see something. I could tap into people's subconscious mind, and a lot of information was coming. And then I started helping people. And the more I helped people, more revelation was happening for them. More I was feeling fulfilled. Like today, by grace of God, I lead a very kind of a fulfilled life. Because when we are on a purpose, we start feeling that. So these are two major incidences which happened in my life, which, because of them, I am who I am right now, and I'm talking to you.
Wow. That was so very profound, doctor. You have created a holistic approach that covers all stages of parenthood, from preconception to parenting. What does this journey mean to you, and how do you feel it impacts the families you work with on a deeper emotional level? And, doctor, just to add on here, It's like, when you're talking and when I was telling about this program to, different people, I was telling this program will address all the generations in the family. It will mean in those different forms to those respective, that particular generation in the family. So over to you, doctor.
Thank you so much. So, right now, what Lakshmi, that we right now, as we both sit,
Mm-hmm.
we are the result of what we are talking is a result of three generation, like three past generations, me, my parents, and their parents. It is a culmination of how they lived, what I observed, and then I speak. We feel it is my experience, but most of our experiences are borrowed experiences, adapted experiences, right? So through our programs also now all this got structured in a very practically realistic applicable manner. So see, as a theory, it's easy to teach and tell about these concepts. Now,
Right,
how do you change with these concepts is the big question. Then
right.
the structure came. We have something called enlightened human conception, which is preconception, and then awakening in womb 11 codes. It is a complete journey of your ancestral life, your parental life, and then what you're going to give to your child as you carry your kid. So, I mean, how it has changed me, of course, each new couple, each new parent, everybody that I work with, I learn a lot from them. It's a very different experience for me. And how is their life enriched is by because when they become aware
Mm,
about, oh my God, this is my limiting self belief. I
mm,
got it from here. I
mm,
don't have to pass it on to my child. For example, um, my financial equation, I we earn so much and then I'm not able to go beyond this particular level. And my dad also had the same thing. He had a capping, and my grandfather, perhaps he lost, somebody would think, lost in business. So this is a pattern which is happening. Oh my God. So because it is happening for three generations, might as well happen for my kid. But now I'm pregnant with this child and I don't want to pass on this as a
mm,
lineage burden to them, baggage to them. Let's break it. This is the power. Or there's diabetes running in our family. Oh,
mm,
so
mm,
mom had, suppose somebody's, and then the grandmother also had. So I am pre-diabetic now, suppose somebody thinks, but there's a predisposition for my child to
mm,
inherited. How can I stop diabetes from passing on to next generation? We can do that as well, thanks
mhm,
to epigenetics, science of epigenetics. So a lot of things which the couples become aware of that these are my patterns, and once they understand the patterns, they break the chain, and this is how they can welcome the new being into this life with a very less ancestral parental baggage. This is exactly what we do when we
wow.
do this with our patients.
Oh. So
Now I
now
my community members. I mean, if somebody is pregnant, they are not a patient because they don't have an illness. Pregnancy is not a disease.
it is healthy state of mind.
Yes, absolutely. So I say, you are my family, you are my community member, you're not a patient. So these community members are um amazing people who apply these concepts. And then, of course, we are seeing the results. It has translated into the kids who are born who are extremely powerful, they're self sufficient, they're confident, and very grounded children. Yeah.
Wow,
This
awesome.
motivates me to work more.
Awesome. So your program, Awakening in the Womb, it sounds truly transformative, right? You explained a little around it. Could you tell us about how this concept fosters a bond between parents and the child even before birth, and why this connection is so essential?
Okay, for that, I have to tell you one thing. We talk about, let me give you context. People go to different programs or they read books or they find mentors who teach them about subconscious mind imprints. They say, this is your belief system, this is your pattern, you need to break it. Or this is a program, you need to reprogram it. Okay. If we are reprogramming something, means there is something which is already sitting, which is not serving.
Correct.
Rewiring means there is a wire which is already there.
Yes.
The question is from where this wire comes.
Mm,
This wire is not random. These
mm,
perceptions, these subconscious mind beliefs are not randomly adapted. There
mm,
is a profound structure to way they are adapted, they are experienced. 10% of the subconscious mind, the unborns, suppose somebody is pregnant, then 10% of the subconscious mind imprints on
Mm-hmm.
health relationships happen in the preconception phase.
Oh.
30% of these belief systems, they happen during pregnancy. So by the time a woman is 36 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
only 40% of this baby's incoming beings,
Mm-hmm.
incoming human beings' mind is imprinted up to 40%.
Oh.
From the onset of labor
Mm-hmm.
till the time this child is delivered and the baby is, the child is 3 days old, 72 hours old,
Mm-hmm.
and massive 30% of imprints go because this is the first physical touch.
Oh. Okay.
By the time you and I were 3 days old, 72 hours old, 70% of our belief systems on health, wealth, relationships were capped.
Oh.
Just went inside.
Okay.
Then from 3 years till the age of, sorry, from 3 days till the age of 2 years, another 20% of these imprints go,
Oh. Okay.
which is 90%. So by
Mm-hmm.
the time a child is 2 years of age,
Uh-huh.
percent of the imprints have gone.
Oh.
From 2 years to 7 to 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
another 7 to 8% of imprints go.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time a kid is 8 years of age,
Mm-hmm.
to 8 years of age,
Mm-hmm.
98% of the massive imprints have gone. And now through the life, it is just 2% of healing, of changing, of forgiveness, of introspection, of I want to change. All this happens.
Oh, you mean to say only 2%?
Only
Only.
2%. 98% of who you and I are, our subconscious mind has already been wired.
Oh. By the time we were 8 years old, that's what you're saying.
For
As
everybody, yes, it has been wired.
mm,
See, now, a small flower, when it blossoms, there is a time, there is a way to it that it blossoms. You and I cannot open the bud and make it blossom, right?
absolutely.
The sun sets at a particular time and the sun rises at a time, the moon rises at a particular time. Everything is perfect. Geometry is perfect. Mathematics in this cosmos. Now tell me, how can a soul, an energy being, a life which is going to walk this planet for so many years be random?
Ah,
Not possible. When there is a perfect timing, even for a fruit to come and a flower to blossom, how can you and me be random people? There is a structure
mm,
to everything. We are not random.
divine order.
Divine order, subconscious mind of your mind, everybody, all 8.5 billion people walking on this planet, their subconscious mind has been imprinted like this.
Oh,
That is why, in spite of all the efforts, if somebody is earning this much and they want to do this much, they do a lot of hard work, it doesn't happen because there's a strong belief system around it.
okay.
You know, you've seen people fighting over property, brothers, their property issues, all of this. Now, it happened at the third generation, second generation, it repeated. Now the siblings are quite good, but we don't know what goes to happen, what is going to happen in the future. Even the cousins, the similar dispute is happening. Why? This is again a pattern. This child, this pattern was written when they were being carried because perhaps mom and dad, they witnessed it and they also experienced it. And they
Mm,
said, okay, it's so difficult to live with the siblings because they're always fighting on the
mm,
property, suppose
mm,
brothers. And this becomes a fact of life for this child.
mm.
And when this becomes the fact, it lands into its subconscious, this child will manifest that in the life. So
Oh,
all the manifestations, so-called, whatever is unfolding in your life, whatever is happening in your life, those programs are already gone in by the time we were 8 years of age.
oh, okay. Okay, wow.
Ah,
That's so profound, doctor.
this knowledge just needs to go out, and everybody in the world needs to know this.
Wow. So Yeah, so in continuation of that, you often speak about the influence of subconscious beliefs and conditioning, right? You just mentioned about that.
Yeah.
How does addressing these aspects of the mind and the soul support families now? Because now, eventually, with the 2% only that is left in the cushion to be able to take care, and the rest almost 100 years of life, right?
Yeah. So that is why, there is helplessness. People who
Mm,
want to live in good relationships, somehow they end up fighting. The
mm,
couples, they're working towards a relationship, but still the separations are happening. They
right,
don't want to leave the family, but something or the other happens, and again they come back to the same. I mean, okay, let's sort it out, but after a week they will again fight on the same thing. Why this repetitiveness is happening? You see all around you, right?
right, right.
People are not able to solve their problem once and for all, even if they solve it. How do they solve it? By leaving somebody, by
Yeah.
leaving the situation,
Mm,
by going into some other relationship. Let's escape it. But escapism doesn't work because,
mm,
again, you can manifest a similar scenario.
right,
So,
right.
if in all these situations then in your life become an opportunity for you to work on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
if this guy is reflecting this, that means there is something which is sitting inside me which I have to change and shift. With a lot of awareness and dedication, you can rewire your mind. However, the womb life impressions, the womb life belief systems, they are very, very deep because they are the foundation ones. They are
Oh,
the deepest ones. Yeah. It takes a lot of grace. I would say, first of all, it takes a lot of grace. See, this is not humans work. If I say, I can change your belief system, then who am I would become God. No, we can't do that. It happens only because of the grace. I'm telling you, everybody, this happens only because of the grace. You have to present to this grace and allow it to work for you in your favor. Once you do that, it works. I, being a science person, a doctor, I was a big skeptic. It
mm,
took me so many years to come to this point. So
ah,
I'm urging all my audiences here, please don't waste your time.
mm,
Just present yourself, let the magic work, let the things happen for you.
mm,
You cannot understand cosmic spiritual science, the science of gods. You cannot understand. Our minds are this much. With this mind, we cannot understand their science. So you
mm.
don't have to understand the science. You just have the fragrance of it.
Ah,
You don't have to understand how the flower is blossoming, right?
right.
The flower is blossom. Just admire the beauty and have the good fragrance. Similarly, something can be done for you. Present yourself. Allow it to be done without using, oh, too much of mine is interfering, actually.
Ah,
That doesn't mean that we just become completely, okay, do whatever you want to do. Use
mm,
your mind, use your bodham, use your buddhi, but don't go into over analysis.
mm,
Allow things to happen to you in a very
mm.
fluid manner. The cosmos
Experiential,
knows how to work best for
right.
you.
And
Yeah.
these are all experiential, right? As you say, nothing tangible. It's experiential, and each one's experience would be different.
But the beauty is when somebody presents and there is some work done on them, the way they come back, they see the shift in their life. Their life is transformed. Something amazing happens in their life. This is what says, come on, let's work on this. If this works, this works. It is completely, you can only experience it. And
Right.
after experience it, there are three stages. You ask for something, you experience it, and then third is you start realizing what you experienced.
Mm.
This realization is actually the transformation. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for that. So your work in epigenetics and subconscious belief reversal, it
Yeah.
is really, really very fascinating.
Yeah.
How do you see these practices shaping a new understanding of health and wellness in families? What role does science play in validating these ancient wisdom practices?
Amazing. Now science has about started validating. There are so many experiments which have been conducted. Uh, a lot of them, major, which I just like, is the work done by Dr. Bruce Lipton,
Hmm.
Dr. David Chamberlain, Dr. Thomas Vermeer. I think these are all the pioneers of antenatal science, the prenatal science actually of the subconscious mind imprints. They've had a in-depth study of people during the womb life, during the pregnancy stages. Like they did a sample study of the people, the widows of the wars of Austria.
Mm-hmm.
They did it, and then they were put into some rehabilitation centers, and then the study was done 30 years hence. Like what
Oh.
happened? They for the chunk who were the widows of the wars. They witnessed the war and they were pregnant at that time. They gave birth, and then later they went into the life, and then they studied the kids of these women. It's mentioned in the books also, and it came that around 70, big number, 70% of these children
Mm-hmm.
who are now 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
who witnessed, the moms witnessed, not the babies, the moms witnessed the war.
Mm-hmm.
70% of them had some mental issue, some psychiatric issue, some inclination towards bipolar or schizophrenia or some anxiety or something.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a connection. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this child was born after the war when they were rehabilitated
Mm-hmm.
into a normal stream society. How
Mm-hmm.
come 70% of them turn into be
Mm-hmm.
what was common? The common was the war. Their moms witnessed, and
Mm-hmm.
these are the widows of the war. Means these are the people, the women who lost their husbands during the war while they were pregnant.
Oh.
See? So that means a mother's condition had such a great influence. So this is just a small example. There are innumerable examples. So that is why it is so important to be extremely aware of what's happening during the pregnancy.
Uh,
Pregnancy before that and after that. Up till the 8 years, you need to be a very tightly vigilant parent as to not vigilant for your kid, but
mm,
vigilant on self as to what you are giving to your child. Child
mm,
is absorbing that from you.
right, right. And actually, doctor, you talk about, not just the one generation, the mother, father, even, their parents, the imprints of the grandparents, can you just throw some light on that?
Yeah, sure, of course. This is pure science of epigenetics. Epigenetics. Now, epigenetics says and validates that uh, a fetus, uh, a child who is born, a girl child or a boy child, whosoever they carry deep impressions from their at least two previous generations, which are active impressions. This has been validated. So, how my grandmother was, she had an impact on my mom, and then she has an impact on me. Complete impact on me. Same for you and for all the people who are watching and the people who are not watching this. Everybody. This is validated by science of epigenetics. Around 45 to 50% we get from here. This is the making of who we are. And rest 25 to 30% is what happens during preconception, pregnancy, and post pregnancy. 25 to 30% of our entire journey. However, whatever happens during the womb life until 7 to 8 years shapes up to 98%. I mean, all those imprints go up to 98% to the child, which contributes 30% deep personality of his. And of course, 45% from the ancestors. So it's about 20% which is left to your experience, to what you call mind, to what you call my free will, what you call my chances, my choices, and all of that. So ultimately, who we are. By the time we are adults, 18 years, whatever needs to be done, whatever has been done, has been done. And we choose our ancestral lineage. So our parents, their parents, the subconscious mind imprints, everything has already gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, you have helped over 4,000 couples overcome fertility challenges without traditional medical interventions. What would you say is most meaningful aspect of this journey, both for you and for them, the accomplishment?
Amazing, amazing. So I would not say without traditional medical. I being a doctor practicing, what I mean is, 4,000 people have conceived without IVFs and IUIs
Oh, okay.
with a little medical support,
Okay.
some medical guidance, some medical support. But so many people could conceive without an IUI or an IVF who came for this. Of course, we put them on certain medicines, but did not take them for an IUI procedure or an IVF procedure. And that is why, see, I'm saying it with a lot of accountability. We claim a success rate of IVF. The worldwide success rate of the first cycle of IVF is around 33-35%. After 5 to 7 repetitive, repeated cycles of IVF, the chances go about 45-50%. So what are we offering? I'm talking this with a lot of accountability. Am I telling them that there is a 35 to 40% of success rate at the first cycle of IVF, or am I telling them that there is a 60 to 65% chances of failure?
Right.
Because you know what? Life, the doctors, they work tirelessly. The doctors are doing their best. All good things, but we have to understand that this is a life. Life cannot be manufactured in laboratory. Putting a sperm and an ovum together and fuse, it turns into a failure because you cannot manufacture a life. There's there's an there's entire there is science, but there's a science beyond humans. We
Spiritual science.
Yes, and what has worked for our patients is uh, once they connect and reconnect with their authentic selves at mind level, emotional level, they resolve a lot of adapted gunk from their mind, lot of adapted unserving issues from their emotions, from their bodies. When they cleanse their energies and their bodies in a very structured, flowing manner, and they have a pure intention, and they eat right, and they sleep right, and they talk right, and they let go of the fear completely, is when the soul says, when the baby says, come on, I need to come to you, let's come to you. And that is why the conception happens. It is the most natural thing for the human beings to happen, right? A pregnancy.
Right.
It's come out like a terrible task now. How will I become pregnant? We've been trying. Now people say we try. I said, what is trying? This is like eating food and getting digested. You don't have to try to eat food and try for digestion. Similarly, baby would come as a byproduct of your love and compassion shared. What is trying? What is trying? So these days, it's all become a little challenging because we are staying in our minds. A lot has changed. The quality of food has changed. Internet has influenced us. We've become quite mechanical in our life. We are running after things that we don't know why we are running. So all this has kind of messed up with our fertility. So how it has helped me is, again, I learn a lot through my patients, through these people who come to me, and amazing revelations happen and they transform. And I always say, when you work on yourself and you find yourself back, when you find your authentic self, your baby becomes a byproduct of who you are.
Ah, very
A
nice.
byproduct of you finding yourself. Let
Mm,
it be like that. Or
mm,
your baby is a byproduct of love and compassion between us, a couple. You don't have to try to get a baby. Let
mm,
the baby come.
mm,
So when there's a shift, this
mm.
energy shifts, I've seen wonders happening.
Right,
Medically, I've seen wonders happening, a lot of them.
right. Yeah, as you say, the lifestyle, today's lifestyle also is influencing a lot in terms of, for example, again, especially the pandemic period, and people having to sit and work from home, and each one from a different room working and not having time for each other, right? That is what is happening and continuing to happen. So, any advice there, doctor, for the couples of today? Because especially again, at least during my time, my mother-in-law, my parents were kind of saying that 25 is the age for the girl, for the first pregnancy, for the first child. By 30, you have to complete. Everything has to happen at a particular time, and there is a beauty in it. And there is maybe a particular reason we don't know, right? But
See,
these,
you are a grandmother
right,
who's
right,
hosting this show, who's
right,
on her toes because you had early children. So the
right,
generation gap is less. The
right,
understanding is better. If,
right,
if somebody is already 45, we can have kids at 45 also, nothing wrong. But when Their child is 30, they're already 75. Look at the generation gap.
Right.
This is first hazard. Not hazard, but this is something which they don't want in their life. And
Right.
biologically, we are meant to reproduce before 30 years. A family should be completed before 30 years. And I say, and I plead, and I urge to all the amazing people out here, whosoever is listening to the podcast, if you are young, if you have a relationship, like you have a spouse, a partner, please have a kid. It is very important. Just tell yourself, if my mom and dad thought just to enjoy their life, why to have a burden of a child, then you would not be here today. You are here today because somebody else took your responsibility. Now it's time to give back to this humanity. Okay. Now it's time to give back, have children, and have children who are responsible citizens of this world. 30, 40, 50 years from now, you and me are not going to be there. Only who will leave behind is going to be there. It is our duty to leave people who are intelligent, who are sorted in their minds, so that they can become leaders of the world tomorrow. Please, if you're good, if you're a positive minded person, don't, I don't want to use this word, but I will. Don't be mean that I need to enjoy my life. My life is so good. We are earning. We don't need a child. No, Baba, you don't need a child. Please don't be mean. The world needs your child. You have
Wow.
to leave your footprint behind. The world needs your sorted child.
Wow.
Just ask yourself, what if your parents said we don't need a child? You would not be there. And then somebody would say, good if I was not there. But this is not the way you think, right? You are humans. You need to enhance your species in a very positive manner. Contribute to it. Contribute to it.
Wow.
It's a
Wow.
duty. It is a duty.
Thank
So
you, Doctor, for such a,
young couples, yeah.
yeah, sure, sure. So your reversal parenting program redefines traditional parenting, right? So what shifts do you believe this approach brings about in family relationships? And how does it help parents cultivate a nurturing environment for their children?
Actually, you were a part of this program. You
Yes.
tell us about your experience.
My experience, Doctor, you know, I mean, as I say, this is so experiential. And again, I'm now in the third generation when I consider my granddaughter. So I have two grandchildren, almost 8 years old granddaughter, 2 years old grandson, then my two daughters, and then, the family life and all that. So this reversal parenting program, when I went through with you, it actually took me through the entire, my clan, my further clan, right? And helping to go through it, my grandparents, to my parents, to me, and then my children. And each time you took differently each day through that program, a different wiring or rewiring, I don't know, but some elevation. Again, this is all very, very experiential, Doctor, so much experiential, but there is so much of fulfillment, and maybe there is a shift, there is something that is happening, and it will definitely transpire into further more. And this is where maybe today I'm with you on this show, that has enabled me over here to get this knowledge to a larger audience.
Definitely. So I'll give you a small example of how shifted. So when you did this program just in September, October, right? For 11 days, we did this program. There was this girl who did it. Of course, I'm not going to disclose her name. During the program and after immediately, almost on the last day of by the end of the program, I got a message from her that because it's an interactive program, Q&A is going, we are together, we have a group, WhatsApp group and all of that. So she messaged me that I'm going to hell. I love my husband, but there are so much of differences between us.
Mm,
And my husband is hiring a lawyer.
mm,
We are on verge of a separation and a divorce. I don't want to be divorced, but it's becoming unbearable and we've decided to separate. This was almost by the time program was ending. I said, don't worry, you just follow the entire process that has been given to you. She had missed one day and she was not doing that process. So she started doing with that process. And on 3rd or 4th of November, I think, I get a message from her that there is a huge shift in me, my perceptions. because of which I think my husband has also shifted. Now we are reconciling. He says, I want to live with you. And I say, I want to live with you. We both are together. I'm so happy that my 9-year-old daughter is also fine now. We have decided not to separate and we are finding the old love between us. Now,
Wow.
this is not where the story ends today as I talk. So, I'm giving you the example which just happened now. We have innumerable examples. Today, my office called me just before this call that she had called them, and they are saying now, after 9 years, the couple wants to have another baby.
Oh,
Can you please help us have a very conscious pregnancy?
wow.
15 days before they were
Mm.
separating and the rounds of divorce and separations were going, then they came together and now they're even seeing the future together and now they want to have another child. 15 days, everything shifted.
Mm. Right.
And we've had amazing tests, not we've had amazing feedback from people. Somebody's money was stuck, they recovered 40 lakhs, somebody something happened. So we don't know which facet of your life it's going to affect. Definitely it will help your children because
Right.
you're reversing their parenting code. Definitely they're going to affect your children. But what else? What more? We don't know. It's a complete reversal program. It just helps everybody in one way or the other, in the way it is more suited to you.
You right, right. So maybe a customized spiritual pill, if I may say that.
This happens, something just unfolds. See, as I said, I have a structure to the program. I have this entire booklet, which the entire course is printed. But when I sit with next batch, the core content, the soul remains the same. However, what comes is very different each time because it is completely dependent upon the audience. What they want to listen, what they want to go through and improve and transform on is presented to them. This is the beauty. This is the beauty. We
Wow.
are good at
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. So you are described as a timeline specialist. Could you explain what this means to you and how understanding our past and our subconscious patterns can help families shape a more harmonious future?
Well, this name has been given and adapted now because I also figured out, I knew that there was a clairvoyance, ability of clairvoyance, which I discovered in myself. It was in 2016, 2017. It was there from like a long time, but then I knew that this is there with a lot of validation. And I think that was the time, 2015, 16, when I accepted this as a gift. Before that, being a doctor, I was questioning, am I imagining, all that skepticism. But I was skeptic about all those abilities. But because of this ability, when I'm sitting on a one-on-one session, I kind of see through the subconscious and immediately we can pick this is coming from this. Like I'm talking to somebody, I would know that this is coming when you were 2 years of age. And then I would just know this. I see you standing here, this happened with you, your mom was doing this and you felt like this, you witnessed this. And I'm seeing this woman, and this has come from some other timeline, from other from some other time. Maybe people call it past life, but I say it is all just a timeline. This timeline, previous, we are just on a timeline. So from previous timeline to previous timeline to previous timeline, I think it is like it would just flash before you, before me, it flashes, and I pick it and I am able to deliver it. Like this is coming from here, you resolve, and it will be clear for you. So because it has helped so many people now. So yeah, you can say timeline specialist also.
Wow. And I remember in our,
Not a tangible thing again. I can't give a like this is this degree in timeline special. It doesn't happen. But because when I do it, it helps people, they recover, they transform their life, and then they appreciate it, and then next one comes, and next one comes. And that is why it's happening. It's
right.
happening. You're helping
And,
people.
yeah, and mostly timeline is at the physical aspect. When the moment you go to the spiritual, it is devoid of those dimensions in the first place.
Yeah, yeah, that space. So anything which is beyond time and space is mind game. When you
Mm,
go beyond mind, there is no time, there is no space.
right, right. Wow. Very profoundly said. So you are dedicated to positively impacting not just physical health, right, but also relationships and wealth, which you kind of called out with one or two examples. Could you share with us why these areas are interconnected and essential to, again, holistic well-being, right? These days we live a life, but again, the holistic aspect of the life is not as much.
See, you and me can see each other in our physical body, my eyes, nose, lips, body, everything. But there is a huge electromagnetic area around you and me. Anything, any object will have its electromagnetic space. Because anything which has electrons in the outermost shell would have some charge and it will create an electromagnetic space. This is physics, right? So if I'm full of atoms which are full of electrons, I
Mm,
would have this charge around me.
mm,
And this charge, this electromagnetic area around me, which you can also call aura, is full of information about our mind,
mm.
about our emotions.
Oh,
Yeah. So our mind emotions. So that is why, the classic example I'm sitting, but somebody enters a room and then we get a very different vibe. We say, that that person has a negativity around him. I will not talk, or oh my God, this person looks divine. I just want to approach him and talk. It's such a beautiful person. Why?
right.
Because when they enter, they're not entering just like this with physical body. They're entering with their electromagnetic charge, which
Mm,
is completely their mind and their emotions filled. And
mm,
I'm sitting with my electromagnetic charge. So before we speak, our energies, our electromagnetic charges, they interact. There is a transformation, there's a transfer of information which is happening. That is why you get this, oh, this person is like this. Experiential again, right?
right.
So our body would get a disease when there is a chronic disturbance in this electromagnetic field. This
Mm,
disturbance at the mind level, at the emotional level, in the electromagnetic field is not addressed. It lands into the body as a chronic or an acute ailment. Then it turns into disease. Disease is dis-ease when
right.
you're not at ease with your mind or you're not at ease with your emotions. It lands
Wow.
as a disease inside your body,
Wow.
right? So if there's anything like a doctor, I would say if there's anything disturbing here on this physical body, then you have to do some clearing here. Something needs to be cleansed, cleared, resolved out here, then it resolves inside your body, right? So
Wow.
that's how it is integrated and how this is. That is why you can't, if you're a doctor and a holistic doctor, you
Mm,
can't. And that is the reason why if somebody has a hypertension, blood pressure,
mm,
I've taken a pill, I should cure it, na? If
mm,
I can cure it, but there is no cure. I
mm.
have to pop in that tablet of that antihypertensive tablet daily.
Right.
One day
Right.
I don't take, my BP goes high.
Right.
For
Correct.
my diabetes, for somebody's diabetes, they have to gulp in a tablet daily, twice, thrice, whatever time, even insulin. Otherwise, the sugar goes high. Huh? So, what are we doing? With
Mm,
these chemicals, we are only suppressing it. There is
right.
no cure because there is a chronic disturbance in the electromagnetic field and it has chronically landed. We are only suppressing this through
Mm,
chemicals.
mm,
It is not cure. It is
mm,
symptomatic
mm,
treatment. That
mm,
means when you are treating something,
mm,
systematically
mm,
suppressing it.
mm,
Cure is from the root when you take it out.
mm.
So
Wow.
for that cure, only holistic approach will help.
Mm,
Only medicine, whatever pathy, Ayurveda, allopathy, naturopathy, homeopathy, Unani, whatever that is, beautiful sciences. But the holistic approach is when you are not just focused at the body level, but you go beyond your body also.
mhm,
The cure happens there. Otherwise, it is treatment.
mm.
Doctor, I will write a prescription. Come back to me after 15 days. Come back to me after 1 month. We keep on going to the doctor month after month after month after month.
Yes.
Suppression of the symptom. The cure is not happening.
Mm,
I don't know how my medical colleagues will like it or not, but this is a fact.
mm. So in this scenario, what is a recommendation, doctor, in general?
Holistic, complete. You
Mm,
have to focus on your physical body, the body which you see. You
mm,
have to focus on your mental body, which you don't see, but which is there, mind. You have
mm.
to focus on your energy body, your emotional side, your emotional body. This is the electromagnetic field. Work on that. These are not tangible bodies because you can't hear, you can't see, you can't smell, you can't touch.
Right,
That's why it is not real,
right.
right? But you can feel
Mm,
that feeling. You can't ignore the feeling.
right,
You see something, you can cry when it touches deep inside you. Something
right.
touches deep inside. This is the feeling. And the feeling is the sixth sense. And
Mm.
the sixth sense is a matter of electromagnetic field.
Ah, wow.
Right. So we've got to work on this aspect of our life for holistic cure, for
Mm,
an holistic balance of
mm.
life in our lives. This
Okay,
is so
sure.
important. Just working on the physical body is treating the symptoms, not the cure.
Mm. So, what are some of the challenges you face in conveying this knowledge, the importance of these aspects? Because today, right,
My
most
pain
of the
point. These are my paining points. You just touch them. Resistance.
Mm,
Resistance.
mm,
Because people need proof. And it
mm,
would take science to reach to that level. I always say one thing. Listen, guys, what is science and what is spirituality? Let's set it right. Spirituality is the science of gods. It is the complete science of cosmos. The science which we call science is that part of spirituality which we have proved for our logical satisfaction.
wow.
That part of God science which
Mm,
we have proved logically for our satisfaction called science. It is
mm,
just 1 or 2% of the cosmic science. That is why. That
mm,
is why what science says keeps on changing every, like earlier it was 3 to 4 years. There is
mm,
a new research, there is a new protocol, there is a new paradigm. Now the recommendations, WHO recommendations are these. Now there, why? Because there's constant research going on. Based
mm.
on the research, they keep on changing the facts. So there
Right,
is nothing absolute in science because it's ever changing.
right,
Why?
right.
Because science is not something new created.
Mm.
Science is only the ongoing discovery of the science of gods, which is spirituality.
Wow. So profound, doctor. Yes, 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 yes.
And I have written this in my book. It's called Awakening in Womb. I have written what is science and what is spirituality. The first chapter is exactly this in the book called Awakening in Womb.
Wow. So you have witnessed thousands of life transformations, right? And you shared one or two stories, but again, one more story, doctor. Is there a story or experience that has particularly touched you and affirmed your belief in the power of your work? Because, you also need, we also, as part of our work, sometimes, there may be moments.
Course, you start questioning yourself a lot.
Right.
Especially when you don't have that much of scientific data and somebody backing you from the back, karo, you do it, it's right. There was no back. There was no support for me. I was all like lost in this world and doing my work. It is just about now that I have so many people who have benefited that I'm saying, okay, Lakshmi, let's talk about it. I know it works. I have this confidence because I've worked on thousands of people. Now I'm able to express myself. Imagine a decade back where it was just starting and I just had a handful of people. And more than that, I was just questioning myself,
Mm,
doubting myself. I'm a human being, Baba. I also have my human beings and adaptive traits and everything. But I worked profoundly on myself, and now I am here with you talking. So, one most okay. 2017, again, I can't disclose the name, my beautiful community member. I would also not tell from where she is. She is not from India because she would immediately know that I'm talking about me. But this is what it's personal, so I would not like to disclose the identity. Now, she was suffering, she had married for a long time and they did not have a child. Maybe 9 years or 7 to 9 years, they were trying. And they were in some foreign country, a very advanced country. Okay, let me tell the name of the country, Australia. And there, They were doing everything. She was diagnosed with high prolactin levels, endometriotic cyst, and I think husband maybe was there. I don't remember that. It's long back. So she found me. She just found me from somewhere, Google or somewhere. And she approached. That was a time I was just about beginning, and I was like 2016. Should I do it? 2014, 15 actually, I did my first workshop. So 10 years back, I did my first workshop. This is 15, 16. She approached. I said, okay, fine. I'm not sure, but let's start working. And we started working. And I took her for a session. She had an endometriotic cyst, which was 4.55 centimeters, but her dedication was so deep.
Mm-hmm.
Surrender was so much.
Mm-hmm.
We did the entire process. It took us around 2.5 hours online. I'm in India, she's there. And I forgot. And then there was a message after a fortnight, week. I went to the doctor and I was talking to them about the IVF and all of that, what to go, how to proceed. And they said, okay, we'll run a few tests. They did the tests, prolactin levels, which were very high in 90s, they came down to normal level.
Wow.
And the endometriotic cyst, we have simple cyst, hemorrhagic cyst, but endometriotic cyst doesn't resolve on its own. If it is 4 5 centimeters, you have to laparoscopically, or otherwise you have to remove the cyst. And there are great chances of the cyst coming back.
Oh,
Her cyst completely vanished.
wow.
Yeah. And she didn't. So we have an ultrasound validation of this. Within 15 days, there is the cyst sitting, and then it vanished. She says it's gone. I said, what the hell are you saying? It will not go. Then it is gone. This is my report. That day I just sat. I said, this is not me. Human
Mm,
being can't do it. Like I can do a surgery, but
mm,
not this. And that day I completely surrendered to the power. I knew that somebody and something was working through me, and I was just being used like a channel, like a mediator in delivering what needs to be done. And this was the biggest validation of my life back then. But after that, we've had so many. However, it was because of her dedication, her devotion, that she allowed this work to work in her favor.
mm,
If someone is skeptic,
mm,
is not that surrendered, then the results will change,
mm.
because you have to be an open vessel to receive so much of water.
Right.
If you are a vessel but your lid is
Mm,
closed, it will all spill off. You will
right.
still remain empty. You have to remove the vessel. You have to be open and surrendered and let the waters fill you. And then the magic happens. Magic is beyond logic. In logic, there is no magic. So when you leave the logic, I'm not saying you become illogical, but
Mm,
what I'm saying is don't use so much of mind. Be an allowance and let it happen to you, because there's so many people who allowed it and it's worked for them. So this
wow.
is one of those examples which were very important for my own uh,
Validation, further
validation
validation.
where I am today. Yeah, God
Right.
bless her. God bless her that she found me, and we are still so close together, and we talk and everything. Yeah,
Wow. So nice. Very nice to hear this, doctor.
thank you.
Yeah. So, as a healer and guide, you often work closely with individuals during some of the vulnerable moments, right? Each of us as human beings, we do have certain vulnerable moments, and not everything can be disclosed with everyone,
Yeah.
right? How do you approach these experiences with the compassion, and what have they taught you about the resilience and the human spirit?
So I tell you, as you said, the word is compassion, and the second word is no judgment.
Ah,
No judgment, because see, whatever we are living, whatever our life is, it is just another story.
mm,
We are so many people living in so many stories in our
mm,
mind. Life is all about a story. So when you stop judging others and say, I must have lived this life sometime now or sometime back or maybe in present time, then you stop judging people. And when you stop judging people, they open up to you.
mm,
That wall of judgment, the moment it goes, then they want to open up, because in these times there is everything. There are a lot of connections, LinkedIn connections, a lot of followers, subscribers, but the deep human connections are missing. So
Mm.
when I present myself as somebody who doesn't judge,
Mm.
somebody is here honestly and in complete authenticity to help you, then they open up. And once they open up, it happens.
Mm. And the receptivity is there. As you said, they
Yes.
open up, receptivity
They
will be
get
there.
open, they become open vessels. Because you know what, even if someone has done something like a murder, something, I might have done that maybe one lifetime back or two lifetimes back. We've all done that. We've all been there. We all are same human beings. We all have common ancestors somewhere above us. So we are a product of same parents. We are the product, and our parents means great, 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 great ancestors. We are the product of same kind of people. We are not very different people from each other. Why to judge? Everybody has a story, and all our stories are similar. What's to judge there? Just be authentic. Say, I'm here to help you. Be kind, be compassionate. Don't judge. And then people become, they just open up, and we're able to help them. That's it. And the beauty is, I just for I bearing few incidences which are so profound. Mostly I forget the deep stories, like this husband, that wife, this happened, he did that, all of that. But what I remember is the essence of what happened.
Mm.
Because everybody else and everyone else is a character.
Mm.
We are all same people. We are all same people.
Yes, yes. And then the human aspect of it, right? And the imperfection will be definitely there in some form or the other.
Imperfection is the only truth. The day we become perfect, we will not incarnate as humans. We'll become gods. Only the divine is perfect. We are imperfect. That is why we are here. Not
Mm.
some imperfection. We are imperfect only. We have
Mm.
to accept that and live the life.
Mm. So that is where again the non-judgmental aspect and then the vulnerability aspects, they
Yeah,
all will be there.
everyone has a story. If you are a human being, there is a karma on you. If there is a karma on you, means there is some story. Period. In the past, present, we are all full of stories only.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for that. Your journey has been one of constant learning and evolution. That's the second part of it, which is very, very key. So, what keeps you motivated and inspired to continue? Because, again, the challenges you talked about, and again, pushing the boundaries of science. Because, yes, you are a medical doctor, you yourself believe in science, but again, further being able to push and get the science across, the spiritual science, right? And to bring these insights to the families around the world.
Yes. I think you have the answer in the question, because the families are benefiting.
Mm.
I get messages, I get mails, I get phone calls day in and day out. Somebody sending me a voice note, a call, a mail, whatever. How they're, see, imagine just this morning I get, now this lady, she wants to conceive.
Mm.
15 days back, they were talking about a divorce.
Right.
15 days, her life has shifted.
Mm.
Family is not breaking, because
Mm.
there was some misunderstanding which got resolved. And
Mm.
now this child, 9-year-old child, will the child not just have two parents together, but also a sibling.
Ah, correct.
This has shifted. Now I want to bring this to everyone.
Mm.
This what keeps me pushing and pushing and pushing, that let's bring positivity, let's bring families together, let's bring joy to somebody else's life. And I tell you, the biggest, it's not the biggest gift that you get is when somebody says, something has shifted in my life is better, and I'm more jovial, I'm more happy. You feel okay, you've done something good, and it's worth it to breathe.
Right. Right.
Life is not just about eating, sleeping, and being. It's like, if you can positively impact others, then why not?
Sure.
This
And,
is my fuel. So sorry for this.
ah, okay. What was that? Sorry.
I don't know. It just light went and came back, the electricity. Just
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
this is my fuel, I
So,
said, yeah.
So, doctor, I have another very interesting question. You have given birth to 10,000 plus babies in this aspect, right? And then nurturing around 4,000 couples and the children who are currently today existing. So, can you share some traits and insights of those children that you hear from their parents? Because this is what will motivate even our other viewers who are actually watching.
Oh, you have to come to our call when we have our inner call where all these parents come and tell their stories. Like, what do I say? These children are not only grounded,
Mhm.
confident. One thing which is common in all these kids is they're fearless.
Fearless.
They are fearless, confident, but full of etiquettes and they know their boundaries. They will never step. But if you are scolding them for a wrong reason, they will look into your eyes and very calmly they'll say, this is not this, this is this. Even a 2 year old,
Oh,
even a
okay.
2 year old. Now, these children, they make their choices of eating. They say, I want this, I don't want this, please give me this. They will sit and eat. When you talk to them, they look into your eyes, full of manners and compassion. They talk to you with a lot of confidence and courage. One thing also which I get a constant feedback is the compassion quotient. So when suppose they're in preschool now, or they're about to go to the main school also, the day they're absent, the teacher says we miss this child
Oh.
because if some yeah the teacher says and the children say we miss this child because if somebody's crying, some child is not feeling well, they will just go and hug. It's
Ah.
okay, I'm there, I'm there. So I think this compassionate question, this kindness is embedded. The sense of freedom is there, the sense of choice is there. Fear, no fear, 100%. This even, my patients come and now because my kid, I'm saying sorry, my husband, he's a pediatrician. So when they come to him for the follow up, we can easily say that this child they're a product of a hospital because there's a little process that we do immediately after the birth and have the fathers do it, and they say आपके hospital का there's a stamp on this child. But this child is so different from others. They just come and they talk and they'll ask very nice, intelligent questions. They will sit. They're not fiddling, touching this, touching that, touching that. I mean, they are curious, but even a 2 year old will sit like this confidently. They look into your eyes and they talk, like they talk, proper talk, and they understand and then they go. They're confident, and I've seen one thing very common is great compassion. They're able to express themselves and no fear, no fear, no fear.
So,
Courage. I should say a lot of courage.
courage. Wow. So, doctor, now to the viewers, your message in terms of this conscious parenting and then, giving to the world, the next generation, you know, your message, doctor.
So now what I can say is like, guys, come on, I invite you to this RPP. All of you have this opportunity to join RPP, and all of you are so powerful that you can reverse your imprints. Once you are able to tap into your electromagnetic fields in the fields beyond your mind, if that is possible, which is very, very like it would require a lot of dedication. However, through your mind, only if you're able to tap into your electromagnetic fields, you tap into your auras, you pick on the things, you start picking on what is not serving you in your subconscious. And if you start rewiring them, your life could shift, mega shift. And when you do it for yourself, it certainly has a deep impact on your kids. So if your children, you are parents, then of course I mean, it's a great opportunity. Like when I was having my kids, I knew nothing of it. It's only recently that I'm coming to know. So what you can do is you can just show up in this space. It's an 11-day online workshop. You can come to this workshop. We work with you together, and There's it's also a very personal kind of an interaction because we all are there on the WhatsApp together. And for 11 days, we handhold your space, and it's a structured thing. You go through the entire journey of reversing your codes for your parents, for yourself and your children. Three
Mm.
generations. It's a great opportunity. It's called RPP, Reversal in Parenting Program.
Yeah.
I love it.
So here, doctor, this particular program, the common one that you are running, not just for the parents or the couple who want to go for a conscious parenting, but it's also for people like me, grandmothers, grandparents.
Part because you are a parent or
Right,
you have a parent. See,
right.
if somebody is single, then they had a parent.
Mm.
They were in the somebody else's womb.
Mm.
Anybody who was in a womb is eligible for this program. And
That's
anybody who held somebody in their womb is eligible for the program. We
right.
all were in the womb, so we are eligible for it.
Right. Because
Yeah.
and again, it will mean different for the when where they are in the different stages of their life. Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And one final one, doctor.
Please, please, please. I'm so happy.
So, in your opinion, what is the most essential quality or mindset a parent or individual should cultivate to bring about positive, lasting change in their life and the lives of their loved ones? Because that is the transformation you are talking about, and that is what, if people get it, they will be able to better take their next generation and themselves.
Very beautiful question. So I feel that there's one thing that every individual should tune into is being authentic.
Mm.
See, your child has chosen you for
Mm.
who you are.
Mm.
Live your life in authenticity. Don't manipulate. Don't put up a fake facade. Don't present yourself as a person who is not. Be truthful to who you are inside. When you are being authentic, your children will love you, they will appreciate you, they will deeply respect you because the soul chose you for who you are and not for who you're putting up as.
Ah,
Yes, yes. And when you are completely authentic, your true self, the world respects you, the world recognizing you because you are the what kind of energy you're emanating is your energy which is really you are something else, you're emanating something else. It doesn't work. People will not relate, they will not come to you, they would somehow know, they would not be able to put it into words, but inauthenticity is readable. You can recognize inauthenticity. However, authenticity is what will take you wherever you want to go in your life, in your relationship, with respect to your health, your finances. Be authentic and you'll be there. And authentic parents are the best parents. Just say, I don't know this. I was a failure. I could not do this. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. I mean, be your authentic self.
wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Monica. Thank you for taking time and very patiently answering the questions. And to all the viewers, very, very valuable knowledge and wisdom from Dr. Monica. And if we really see, it is a blend of science and spiritual science. So, again, it's not just any orthodox kind of a thing, or, again, as doctor was saying, so it may take for us, because sometimes we sit in our intellect rather than the compassion in the heart. So the moment we kind of shift, and that is where the very essence of the human heart and the human being, and again, as doctor says, the transformation will start happening, because it depends on our receptivity and our compassion. So thank you so much, doctor.
Yes,
Thank you.
be present and allow. That's it.
Mm.
Ask, present, allow. That is it. Thank you so much for inviting me. I loved all your questions and I loved answering them. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
doctor. Thank you. Thank you to all the viewers. Thank you.
Thank you, the viewers. Thank you, audiences. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much.
So much. Yeah, I need to go now. We'll